Okay, now we're here at the cleaning fan. A couple of things we want to note on the cleaning fan is annually look at your fins on your cleaning fan and make sure that they're not caked with material, debris. If they are, you need to blow it off, scrape it off. It needs to come out off of there to maintain balance on the fan. Okay, the other thing on this cleaning fan is don't overspeed it. Overspeeding can cause catastrophic failure, and we want to prevent that.
Now we're going to talk about the sieves. We want to do visual inspections. We've raised our spreaders up out of the way. We want to step in underneath and look. What we're looking for is bent fins on our sieves, any kind of buildup. We want to keep that broke loose. We're also looking at our gap, our opening, our sieve opening from left to right. There's a mechanical linkage in underneath on the sieves. As we're inspecting our sieves, we're looking for the opening to be the same to the left and the right. We generally run an 1 5/8" sieve for corn and soybeans. In certain conditions, we'll go to an 1 1/8" sieve in soybeans or even a Peterson sieve. Sieve calibration is another aspect we need to look at. When we calibrate our sieves, there's a series of buttons over here on the left side of the machine. Before we go to the cab to do the sieve calibration, we generally want to open the sieves, run the combine, let all the trash exit the sieve area. Then we'll close the sieve all the way and then open the sieve back up. What we're looking for is a 1/4 inch opening, and we want to set the top and the bottom sieve to that position. Once we do that, we go to the cab, we go to the Pro 700, we can go to the calibration tab and pull up the upper sieve and lower sieve calibration, and it will calibrate the sieve.
What we're going to look at now is how to do a keel stall and how to interpret the results of the keel stall. What we're going to do is we're going to run the combine in what would be a representative crop condition at a representative speed of what we're normally going to run. And at that point, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the separator button and pull the hydro handle all back to neutral while we're running at operating speed and stand on the brake to stop as quick as possible. At that point, idle the machine down, let it cool off a minute, shut it off. Come back here and open up your side panels and look in the rotor cage. Some of the things that we're going to be looking for: do we have green material matted and sticking through the concaves, which may indicate that we need to do some rotor adjustments, such as adding round bar concaves. Another thing we'll look at is where is the grain falling out of the concaves. When we poke in the rear area, is there grain back here in the very back, or is it not? If there's grain back here in the back, we may need to do some vane adjustments to hold it in a separation area longer. If we look in our grain sample and we're seeing unthreshed grain, as in beans not still in the pod or kernels of corn still on the ear, we may adjust the front vanes and increase or decrease or separating. The other thing we may look at is if we need to make a adjustment in the front of the rotor. What might dictate that we need to make an adjustment in the front of the rotor is, are we still finding corn on the cob or beans in the pod? Or are we having excessive cracked grains? That may indicate we're over threshing. If we have kernels still on the ear of corn or beans in the pod, we're under threshing, and we would speed up or slow down the vanes accordingly. We have multiple adjustments we can do besides just changing concaves or adjusting vanes. We can adjust rotor speed, we can adjust concave clearance, all these will have an effect, but only do one at a time and then see what the final results are. After we make these adjustments and get our rotor set properly, we will now move on to a cleaning system in the rear. Okay, now we're going to look at the back end of the combine after we've done a keel stall so that we can tell what adjustments we need. What we're going to look for is how the material is distributed across the cleaning system, how far back the material is built up, and this will give us an idea of what adjustments we need to make. But we're also looking for grain coming through the chopper as well as the sieves, so we need to keep that in mind also. After we check the sieves, we're going to look at on the ground behind the combine for sieve loss, rotor loss, header loss. One of the things that might indicate it could be rotor loss or separator loss is it throwing material in the standing crop in the next pass. If it's throwing it into the standing crop, there's a good possibility that that's rotor loss. We want to look directly behind the combine and count the number of grains in a square foot and see what kind of losses we have there. And another important place to look on the back of a combine will be the rear axle. If you're getting excessive grain losses, it will tend to excessively accumulate there.